Hi guys, my name is Nicola Dickens. This is Free My Cure. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I almost forgot what I was saying. Oh my god, brain fart today. So let's go ahead and get this feed shared out. I will be right with you. Today we are reviewing Twinkie concentrate from Arizona Organix. So give me just a moment. Share the feed out and we will get going. I don't use copy paste. There we go. Sorry guys, this takes me a minute every freaking time. Almost done. This always takes forever. Okay, we are done. I've chat. Hey Angie, how you doing? Beauty Brad, how you doing, darling? How is everybody today? We are reviewing some Twinkie concentrate from Arizona Organix. Look at how beautiful that is. That is one nice thick stick of it there. Oh. So let's go ahead and taste her out right away. Oh, I hate when that happens. It just completely shattered in my hand. Okay. Ruh-roh. Where's my paper? Okay, well, we're going to put you here today. This is the problem. Okay, so Arizona Organix puts all their concentrate in these little papers. And normally it works out great because I know exactly where I put my little papers. But today, it either blew away or I hid it from myself, thinking that would be a fun game. So, obviously it's not going to be. So, let's see. Yes, it is going to be very, very on there. So, hopefully we get a little Twinkie taste. I have not eaten a Twinkie in, holy shit, 15 years maybe? Holy crap, it's been forever. So, let's see if she tastes like a Twinkie. As always, guys, don't drop, please, don't drop. Fuck cancer. So not too Twinkie. You kind of get a little bit of that vanilla, kind of a lemon cake taste, but not really a Twinkie type of a taste. It does have a slight diesel burn at the exhale. So, and one of the things that I really like is when the strands do have a little bit of that diesel burn at the exhale, I like to try to cover that up a little bit. So I will go buy little Kool-Aid, squeezy bottles, or anything like that that has different flavoring in it. And I will take a little squirt of it and throw it right into the bottom of my bong. Now, when you smoke, what'll happen is it'll help bring some of the flavor from your water into the concentrate. But you'll never want to do that at first. You always want to test it first. So if you want to get a true taste out of it, test her before you put anything in that water, and then do it after. And you will notice that there's a really kind of a cool little after flavor to whatever solution you decide to add. Oh, that's actually really, really good. So you kind of get that blue raspberry, vanilla, little yellow cake taste to it. It's really good. excuse me. And I totally forgot to bring my little Q-tips out so I could clean my banger. But please know that every time you dab out of your banger, you want to clean it. So use either a Q-tip with alcohol or water. Clean that banger out real good so you don't get that burnt flavor inside of your e-nail. Plus, you will notice that if you don't clean it off, you're going to get really hard chunks of burnt oil or resin that'll stay on the inside of your nail, and it'll end up causing problems in the long run. So keeping that good and clean is a good idea. How I keep my nail clean is about, I clean it with the Q-tips with water and alcohol, but the whole thing, I'll disconnect it, and it'll go in my Everclear solution. And so I boil all of that Everclear back off, and then I can reuse the resin, or I can make can of butter out of it, or can of caps out of it, or anything like that. Oh, excuse me. So let's talk about Twinkie. Here a little bit. Great flavor, guys. You got to try that. If you do dab and you like to try different little flavors, adding the little, I think you just put them in the little water, the liquid, Kool-Aid liquid. This one's blue raspberry. You can do strawberry, watermelon, whatever flavors that you like. Try it in your bong. It actually tastes pretty good. So this is Twinkie. It comes from SVWOG and Lemon Cake. This particular strain came from Arizona Organix. If I don't burn myself trying to get their logo up. Yay. Arizona Organix puts all of their concentrate in these little envelopes. So they take a little paper, and I don't know where my little paper went, but they fold it up into the concentrate inside that little paper, and then they shove it in here, and that's how you get your concentrates from them. So she has an earthy, sweet diesel flavor. When you add that blue raspberry in it, it gives it a little bit more of a sweet, with that blue raspberry, lemon cake, vanilla flavor to it. It's really good. So this has a long-lasting sedative and trancy high, ideal for leisure and relaxation. This one won the High Times Cannabis Cup of 09 and 10, as well as the European Championships Cup. So this has been a pretty strong strain. The effects of her are relaxed, happy, euphoric, sleepy, and tingly, medicinally, stress, insomnia, depression, pain, PTSD, cancer, muscle spasms, and then the negatives on this are dry eyes, dry mouth, and anxiety. She is an indica hybrid. I don't know the exact breakdown. I don't know if it's a 50-50 or what exactly that breakdown is, and I have not been able to actually find a test result on Twinkie to be able to give you what the THC content level is, if there are any carcinogens or anything like that that is in there. So I will keep looking. If I do find them, I will add it into the written review so you guys can see it, because I don't know what the THC content is of this. I don't know if there's CBD, CBN. I don't know any of that particular information. So I will get it and I will let you guys know. Yay! So we are going to dab this one last time, give us some good effects. When I started this review, I was at a pain level of about 7.5. I had come down from my 8.5 from smoking the flower. I'm not as I wasn't as nauseated, but I don't necessarily have the munchies either. So hopefully once this kicks in, it will kick in some of those munchies, because I haven't yet eaten today and do need to try to force that in. It's every time I seem to get sick and end up in the hospital with all the pain, the eating disorder comes back 10 times stronger, and it's just hell. And then every time I eat, I feel worse after eating, and you just don't feel great. So now I'm trying to build back up from that. So if any of you guys are in that same position, I'm with you here. I'm with you. I feel your pain. I was feeling slightly better yesterday and totally overdid it trying to catch up with my laundry and everything. Yeah, you know, that's another thing that I do. Yeah, it's another thing I do is when you have a good day, you want to take advantage of that good day. You want to get everything that you need done. That way you know, because you know it's not going to last. You know it's going to end at some point. You know that it's just you're going to have more and more shit that's going to keep piling up that you got to do. I get it. I know what you're feeling. I do the same thing. And it's hell. I did my last year's out and about during Arizona Bike Week, and I did the entire week last year. Actually smoked in public, talked to people about cancer and cannabis, talked, just to try to get that awareness up. That's a big thing for me is awareness. I've been through chemo, I've been through radiation, and it's the worst thing in the world, I'll tell you what. Kill me, please. I will never do it again. I thought I was dead several times. I wished I was dead more than several times. I kept fighting, and a lot of the reason why I kept fighting was, of course, because of my kids and my family. But it's hard, and there's a lot of people out there that don't have that support and that love to be able to, hold on to, and to be able to pick themselves back up by. And for that, that's what I want to raise that awareness for, as the opioid crisis and war on opioids has forged forward and gained momentum, as I believe it should. It has hurt a lot of people. It has left a lot of people hurt in its wake. There's a lot of people that don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, because they know that they're getting cut off of the only thing that makes it possible for them to move during the day, or even sleep at night. So it's a difficult journey ahead of all of us, and that's why I decided that this year in 2019, my big thing is going to be sponsoring one patient, one medical marijuana patient a month. Probably will not start till March, to where I will be picking one patient a month to actually give them their RSO. It'll be anywhere from 50 to 100 grams of RSO to help get you started on your journey. That is the goal for this year. That is how I want to raise awareness. I want to help other people that need this, that need to show that this is what life has given them, and that they're going to make the best out of it. And with cannabis, we can. And that's the biggest thing I want to stress there. I was an opioid addict. I was an opioid addict for many, many years. You can't be a cancer patient or a pain patient or an interstitial cystitis patient or an endometriosis patient without becoming an addicted patient. And I was addicted. 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't even remember anymore, I decided that that's not what I wanted. My husband had come to me and said he knew what was going on. I had gotten to the point where I was sleepwalking in the middle of the night, taking more drugs, because that's what I thought I needed to do, or my body subconsciously said, hey, we need to take more. I would have been dead. And so you can't, I've used my body with opioids for so long. I feel for so many of these patients, and I hope that they give RSO a try to see that RSO can help them just as much as their opioids have. So that's why I want to raise awareness about RSO and about the uses of RSO. And what am I? Oh crap, did I just go blind or something? I was going to do another, oh, there it is. I was going to do another dab, and I couldn't find my dab stick. So, let's do one more of these. We'll go back over where pain level is at. This would basically be my third dab. I call myself a more serious smoker. It takes a lot for me to maintain on a daily basis. So as you guys see, I've already done, this will be my third dab. I probably will not dab again until my husband comes home. Today, this will last me that long. So it'll be, my husband gets home about 3:30 in the afternoon. So I will dab, and this will be my last dab until then, but I will smoke flower off and on, and that'll just maintain my level of comfort. What I do is I dab until I can get my pain level down to a comfortable 5 or 6. And then I'll let the flower take back over. That's been working for me now for, a couple of months. But I do notice that between my husband and I, it's just him and I, we go through anywhere from between 12 and 14 grams of oil smoking, 2 ounces of flour, and then edibles every 2 weeks. So we call ourselves more serious smokers. I may be small, but I can smoke like I mean it. So guys, as always, fuck cancer. I'm in the process of stopping my pain pills, but nights are the worst. The pain is there all day, but for some reason at night it gets worse. I agree. I have the same problem. Give me a moment. I can't breathe. Phew-wee. What I do is about an hour before bed, I orally take 1.5 grams of Rick Simpson oil. I freeze it in a little disc. You'll see how I do it in my RSO diary series that I have on here, but I freeze it in a little 1.5 gram disc, and I swallow it down with water. If you need to, you can cut those in half. Just don't handle them much. They do melt very, very quickly. One of the reasons why I like doing it that way is because I get less of the taste. One of the things that you do get, however, and I hate it, is you will burp it up, the RSO. So that you do have to be careful for. I hate when that happens. It tastes like crap. But it does help. If you are in the position to be able to take a large dose of RSO at nighttime before you go to bed, I only take RSO at night now, before I go to bed. That usually lasts about 24 hours for me. It doesn't help with the pain throughout the entire 24 hours. I do still have to smoke. But it's almost like when you do smoke, it reactivates the smoke that's already in your system. I don't know why, and I don't know what the scientific term or anything else of it is, but I don't know if you guys, I used to smoke cigarettes. And I know that if I smoked a joint and then 15 minutes later smoked a cigarette, you got a secondary high. It does the same thing with RSO when you're smoking THC. So it does kind of help some. It helps that bridge of some of that pain. So if you're in a position to be able to do that, that's what I do. It does help me. It's worth a shot. I had to build myself up to where I was able to take 1.5 grams of RSO oil at a time. But once you get there, you normally do fine. When I did 100 grams of Rick Simpson oil in 40 days. So by the end of my Rick Simpson journey last year, I was eating 4 grams of Rick Simpson oil a day, and functioning, completely functionable. I was able to go to the lake. I was able to do all kinds of stuff. Now that was the best I had felt. And you'll see, if you watch them from beginning to end, you'll see the changes in me. I want to try to edit them to where I can put a big time span through them so people can see. You start seeing the life come back into me. It was an amazing journey. I loved doing it. I will be going back on RSO. I will stay on RSO for the rest of my life at this point. It does help. It helps all of me. It helps with my PTSD. It helps with my depression. It helps with my bipolar. It helps with my pain. It helps with my nausea. It helps with me eating. It helps with so many, many things. Thank you. I just don't know where to get RSO. Yeah, see, and that's one of the biggest problems that we're running into right now. And that's why I am focusing 2019 on Rick Simpson oil education. I want to get the word out. So I will be talking to dispensaries about joining my quest in this and seeing if there's any dispensary that wants to step up and work with me and join me in this quest. So maybe instead of instead of me only being able to sponsor one person a month, maybe I can get 5 or 6 different dispensaries or caregivers that will support it, and we can sponsor 5 or 6 different people a month to help get this education up for 2019. This is my personal goal. I made this goal simply because the impact that Rick Simpson oil has made in my life has been well worth it. So I want, and it's, my mom basically died of an opioid overdose. And I honestly don't even know what happened. But she was addicted her entire life. For those of you that have followed me for a long time, my mother and I, at the end of her life, we were estranged. We had nothing to do with each other. My mom made some bad choices in her lifetime, and I could no longer live with the choices that she made and feel healthy. So I walked away. My mom has since passed away, and never really understood that as mad as you can be at somebody, you can really miss them at times as well. And I find that more times than not, people that have an opioid addiction also have some major trauma in their past. And trauma to you may be different than trauma to me. So we all have our traumas. And some people's traumas are not they're not as big as what we think of others. But we have to understand that just because something affects us one way, it doesn't always affect another person another way, the same exact way. So moving forward with 2019, getting people away from opioids and that addiction and showing them that there's life after that opioid addiction, I think that needs to be a big priority this year. We have so many people that are committing suicide and regressing. Seriously, I mean, I was watching a documentary about a man who I guess he had been in several major accidents, and he was in so much pain that he couldn't move without, large doses of fentanyl all the time. And with this whole opioid crisis being the way it is, his doctor retired, and nobody would write those same prescriptions that his doctor had before him, and nothing else that he was able to take at that point was helping. So he signed that suicide pact. He took the last set of pills from his doctor, and he committed suicide. And this is happening more and more and more. You watch on Facebook and on other social medias how people are saying that there's always somebody listening, and that's big and important as well. But we have to remember in all of this that there are other ways of helping with some of these things. And when it comes to physical pain, the mental side is no match. You can be as strong as you want to be mentally, but if you are in so much physical pain and you can't see through it, how do you get through? I have talked to so many different patients that they say, smoking pot's fun. It's fun, but it doesn't help with my pain. And I'm like, okay, guys, you're right. It doesn't. It doesn't. You have to have some help to helping with that pain. That's why I take RSO. That's why every day I make sure I have that 1.5 grams of RSO. Without it, I would be in that same boat. I counted yesterday, my bladder spasmed over 239 times. It was not happy. Now, when your bladder spasms that many times, you can't breathe. After I took that RSO, I could still feel the spasming, kind of. It was just like a little squeeze, but it was nothing like what it had been. And people are like, oh, okay, but they say that this is supposed to help, and da da da, and yes, and it's just that I guess that nobody has experimented with RSO the way that I have. I don't know. I have ingested, holy crap. I have personally eaten, all by myself, oh my God, 300 or 400 grams of RSO by about this time. I would probably, I mean, if I had to do a drug test right now, I would probably test higher for THC than blood. But I don't drink or anything else. Oh my God! You have IC too? And I'm sorry that you have IC too, but I have never met anybody that has IC. So it is great to meet you. I'm sorry that you have it, but I have never met anybody that has had interstitial cystitis. So I've never been able to talk to anybody to explain to them or anybody to be able to understand when I'm explaining what IC is. So that's kind of cool. Me either. IC, it's okay, Michelle. Not too many people know what IC is. Interstitial cystitis is what IC is. Now, what IC is you have your bladder, right here. And our bladders with IC, we get like these ulcers in there, and they pop and they blow. They're like pimples or ulcers that pop and blow within your bladder. If you've ever seen them go in for a cystoscopy, that's kind of what it looks like. When I go to the bathroom, I have to use a catheter. My bladder will not void anymore on its own. So I had to go get an implant put into my back to help with some of the spasming. And it has helped with the spasming. It doesn't touch the pain. And it doesn't help me go to the bathroom. So, but it does, let me rephrase. It does help with some of the pain. And when I'm not having a flare-up, it helps with the spasming. It drops my spasms down. If I'm in a flare-up, it doesn't matter. Nothing helps it. When I was first diagnosed with interstitial cystitis 20 years ago, the treatment was diazepam and pain meds, because there is no cure for this. Nothing. They cannot fix your bladder. They can take it out. They can take parts and pieces out. I go back to the University Hospital in Tucson next month, and we actually are going to be discussing the urethra removal to see if that will help any of the spasmings. I used to take Elmeron. I took it orally, and then they did monthly installations where you had to hold it in your bladder for a half hour, an hour, or whatnot. I did used to take Elmeron. Elmeron is made of actual synthetic bladder tissue. It's supposed to adhere to the sides. When I was first diagnosed with it, I did. It did help for quite a while. But I was also on a high dose of Elmeron, and I was on 105 milligrams of Valium and pain meds to survive. Because when you have no clue until your bladder is pissed off at you how many parts of your body that bladder affects. It affects your feet, dude. It sucks. So yes, I have taken it. I feel like I pee 15 times to empty my bladder, or I sit on the toilet 20 minutes to pee 5. Yeah, I do the same thing. Nope, they won't give me Valium anymore either. It is a barbiturate, and that is not the treatment for it anymore. I now go to the University of Tucson because they specialize with this. I've had it for 20 years. They believe that mine was caused from radiation therapy. So that's what they believe mine was caused by, because I had uterine cancer. So I had to have radiation, chemo, and a hysterectomy. And when they did my hysterectomy, they did a complete hysterectomy because that was my third cancer, and they were afraid that it was going to turn into ovarian. So we were eliminating the problem before it started. UCLA soon, that's good. I was actually given the choice of UCLA and University of Tucson because I live in Arizona. I chose University of Tucson, or University of Arizona in Tucson. Once we get to the point, I will probably end up having to transfer back over there. Right now, and it's so sad, I find that the RSO, the Rick Simpson oil, taking high doses of it on a daily basis, I find that that helps a lot with my bladder infections. I get less infections when I'm taking that. So that may be something to consider for you. I would try it. I was to the point that I was getting a bladder infection every month. And so it was, every time I turned around, it was more and more and more. So it's just, it got to the point where my bladder just completely stopped functioning, to where, yeah, I turned into to where I'm a catheterized only now. Oh, believe me, I know. Let's see here. Sorry. Dog won't give me Valium. I have to double up and then lean. Yeah. One of the things that I will do that does kind of help is I will sit kind of Indian style and double over as far over as I can. Sometimes that helps stretch some of it. I am going to be trying to ride a bicycle here on a daily basis to see if I can't work through some of that muscle cramping that I'm going through. It's worth a shot. It's something that they would do in physical therapy, so I'm going to try it here at home, see how it works. And they do. My issue is I won't see a doctor. I'm tired of these doctors that act like I'm crazy. Oh, I know. I know what you're saying, sweetie. They started putting commercials about endometriosis on the TV, and it pissed me off. And I should have been happy that they were doing it, but I got pissed. I'm like, God damn it! When I had endometriosis to endometrium cancer at that, and they sent me to pain management. I was denied. Oh my God, they acted like that's all I wanted was the opioids. And they acted like I was just, and yes, I was probably addicted. I'm not going to lie about that. But oh my God, I know what you're saying. Holy shit. And now they have those commercials on the TV, and now they're being nice to these women. I'm pissed because they weren't nice to me. So I know what you're saying. And most doctors, they do think that they know it all. And that's why I have said so many times that I wish my superpower was that I could just take my hand and just put it nice and gently on theirs, and they would feel the pain that I'm going through. Because then it would put them on the ground. I guarantee it. I don't give a damn how tough of a man you are. It's going to put you on the ground. Because your bladder doesn't mess around. It doesn't freaking play. Yeah, bladder infections, the reasons why you're getting all those bladder infections from the IC is because your bladder's not emptying. You are going to have to start talking to them about self-capping at least before you go to bed at night. It's not comfortable, it hurts, and it sucks, but let me tell you something, it will help break down on those infections, and then hopefully you won't end up to the point that I was with the bladder cancer. That you don't want. So, yeah, you may end up having to do a catheter before you go to bed every night. I am on macrobid every day for the rest of my life. I will be on that antibiotic for the rest of my life because I cannot fight a bladder infection anymore. My immunity doesn't work for it, so I have to take that. Pain management is a joke. Tell me about it. Oh yeah, heaven forbid you smoke pot. They're not going to give you shit. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. You probably have to give me less. Oh yeah, they are just opiate babysitters, you know, and nowadays, they need to be. I mean, honestly, I could probably think back to several times that I probably didn't need to take as many of the opioids as I did because I probably physically wasn't hurting as bad as I was mentally. And I self-medicated for that because I didn't want to, I was afraid to be like my mother, so I didn't want to admit that I needed to talk to somebody. And so I self-medicated with that, and so they, I mean these opiate babysitters, yeah, we do kind of need them still, sadly, but hey. My pain management doctor told me he needed to get my medical card. Then when I got it, he started acting all different. Huh. I don't know. I have never actually had a pain management doctor. I was denied by a pain management doctor once, but I never actually had a pain management doctor. I was my oncologist or my doctors actually always prescribed. I never had an issue with it, but I also had medical issues, some serious medical issues, and they could justify giving it to me. So yeah, it is sadly it is still federally illegal. That's retarded. I know. Hopefully we are looking at another 12 states this year that will be legalizing. That leaves a whole whopping 5 states that have illegal cannabis laws or at least don't have anything on the books. You know, after that, we're going to be forcing a hand. Not only that, something tells me somebody's going to use this as a platform to either be elected president or re-elected or however that works. I do not get into politics on this channel, so, but I do believe I have seen and heard some chatter on the wire about that going on. So, yeah. Hopefully here soon. We'll be good. So, that's it for today. My pain level, now that I have smoked, I am sitting at about, I'm at a comfortable 6. I'm comfortable. I'm not really hungry. I do still need to go inside and force myself to eat a little something. But overall, I am comfortable. I'll be able to go inside and get some things done. So that's it for now, guys. Mwah! Thank you so much for being here. Mad love, and I will see you guys. I believe tomorrow we are doing 1 episode. We are doing some concentrates. So I believe I will be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. So, mwah, mad love, guys. Bye.